Hey guys, I'm Sly, the corporate mixologist for Republic National Distributing Company, and I've worked very closely with some of your upper management in creating some handcrafted signature cocktails specific for Spaghetti Warehouse. Now first, we're going to be reviewing your house sangrias. We're going to be reviewing your Warehouse White Melon Sangria and your Warehouse Red Sangria. Now when we think sangrias, we think Italian, right? So it's perfect for your concept. In fact, it has been your top selling signature cocktail. The only difference now is it's new and improved. We've added some fresh purees and some fresh juices. So your White Melon Sangria, we're going to be making that with the Riuniti Bianco wine. It's going to be a sweeter white wine that has great citrus flavors. That's going to go perfectly with your kiwi puree. Kiwi and citrus are beautiful together. And we're going to be using a Deep Eddy Ruby Red grapefruit. Grapefruit and kiwi, beautiful combination that you can't find anywhere. For your sweeter drinker, we're going to be using the Riuniti Lambrusco wine, which is going to be a sweeter red wine with great cherry, berry, and plum flavors. And this we're going to be using a brandy in the cocktail along with a black cherry puree. So bartenders, you're going to love me for this one because it's going to be just 2 to 3 easy steps. You guys are going to be pre-batching it behind the bar. So all you have to do is measure out 4 ounces into your tin shaker, add some ice, and shake it up. So let's go ahead and do this. Now, most importantly, when you get it, it is pre-batch. And remember, it has sugar, puree, and citrus. So when you get it, you definitely want to give it a good shake, mix it up to make sure that the sugar and citrus all blend in together. If you think about it, if you poured straight, the citrus will be on the top, your consumer will get a very sour drink, and your sugar will be at the bottom. So as you keep pouring from your batch mix, that last consumer is going to get a very, very sweet drink. So make sure you shake it up. Now let's measure 4 ounces into our tin shaker. And you'll notice that I measure every single ingredient just to ensure a consistent cocktail. Just because this drink is pre-batch still means you need to measure out 4 ounces to make sure that your consumer gets the right amount of sangria. So now that we've measured out, we're ready to add our ice and shake. Add ice to your tin shaker, and here's a fun little tip for you. You want to fill about 0.75 filled with ice because when you give it a good shake, you want 1 ounce of water dilution in there. So go ahead and give it your best shake. Everyone loves the sound of a cocktail being shaken in the bar. Now we're ready to top off with Sprite. Now you may ask why we're doing it after. It's because Sprite is effervescent, right? So if you shake it, it's gonna explode. So we're gonna do it after. But another important step, you wanna roll the drink because you wanna make sure that the Sprite gets mixed in with the rest of the cocktail that we just hand shook. Very easy, strain into our cocktail glass. Look how light and refreshing that is. And we're gonna give it a simple garnish. It's gonna get a fresh orange wedge along with a lime. And this is going to be your Warehouse Red Sangria and your Warehouse White Melon Sangria. And keep in mind, they do come single serve, carafe, and pitcher size. Hey guys, I'm Sly, the corporate mixologist for Republic National Distributing Company. And let's move on to your next cocktail. This one is gonna be your Bellini. It's gonna be a classic cocktail that actually originates from Italy. So again, makes sense for your concept, right? Now the main ingredients for this cocktail are gonna be 2, Prosecco and peach. Now you might wanna start jotting down some notes because just a hint, there just might be a pop quiz at the end of these little modules. Not only do I want you to take notes for the test, but hey, I'm gonna be giving you some specific facts on who to upsell to, what time to upsell at, and exactly how do you sell this cocktail. Now, what is the perfect time to sell this cocktail? I'll give you 2 seconds to think about it. Anytime. Anytime, because this is a sparkling cocktail and people love bubbles, and when they see champagne Prosecco cocktails, they instantly think very light and refreshing. So anytime this cocktail can be sold. But if I walk into any of your locations and I don't see Bellini's, all over on a Saturday and Sunday afternoon, I know someone's not upselling, or as I say, pushing the consumer beyond their comfort zone. It's a beautiful cocktail for a Saturday and Sunday afternoon drinker, people that like sparkling, people that might drink mimosas. This could be and will be one of your top selling cocktails. So let's go ahead and build the cocktail. We're gonna do 1.5 ounces of the Deep Eddy Peach Vodka. As you can see, the Deep Eddy has a beautiful peach color because it is infused with natural peaches. We're gonna go ahead and do 1 ounce of your peach puree. Now, if you notice, I'm measuring out every single ingredient because when we're dealing with thick purees and fresh citruses, we want to ensure a consistent cocktail every single time. So go ahead, measure it out. And next, your fresh lemon juice. 1/2 ounce of fresh lemon. Go ahead, measure, drop it in, and we're ready to shake our cocktail. Now we're going to be adding our ice to the cocktail, and bartenders, make sure you fill it about 0.75 fill, because when we shake, we want 1 ounce of water dilution to that cocktail. We're actually counting on that water to help dilute it and not make it such a sweet cocktail. Give it your best shake. All right. Now the final ingredient, your Prosecco. Now if you notice, this is a 187 bottle. So after you measure off the 4 ounces into your tin shaker, we're gonna roll the cocktail to make sure that we get the Prosecco mixed in with all the other fabulous peach flavors, but it's also gonna be served tableside along with your cocktail. So when I say roll the cocktail, just pour it in between both vessels. Again, the Prosecco gets mixed in with your other ingredients. And we're ready to strain. Now if you notice, we're gonna be straining into a wine glass over a fresh peach, no ice. Look how beautiful and light that is. For the male demographic, the female demographic, and again, Saturday, Sunday afternoons, again, anytime, don't forget that lunch consumer, bubbles, people love bubbles, and when you serve it, beautiful cocktail, and don't forget the rest of your Prosecco, and tell the consumer just to keep topping it off at their leisure. This, my friends, is your Bellini-osa. Hey guys, I'm Sly, the corporate mixologist for Republic National Distributing Company. And as you can see, we've been trying various new signature cocktails that we've specially created just for your concept to sell to your consumer. Now on to the next cocktail. It's a favorite. It has very much a name that people recognize. It used to be known for shots and then it got turned into martinis. It's called a lemon drop. We added our own personal twist to it, a little Italian flair to it, to call it a limoncello lemon drop. And what makes it a limoncello lemon drop? That's right, we're gonna be adding some limoncello to it. So all-time favorite. And one thing I want you guys to recognize, the majority of the cocktails that we've been reviewing today, I've said could go for the male consumer or the female consumer. And by consumer, I mean your guest walking in your door. For this one, it does tend to skew a little bit more towards the female demographic, but that doesn't mean that a male wouldn't enjoy the nice lemon, citrus, and herbaceous herbal flavors that the basil brings to it. But again, it might skew a little bit to the female. So let's go ahead and measure out the cocktail and shake it up for you. First off, we're gonna be doing 1 ounce of the Deep Eddy Lemon Vodka. Again, you can see the great color flavor, naturally infused with lemon, delicious lemon flavored vodka. We're gonna do 1 ounce, and again, as you've seen and heard me, I measure all my ingredients to ensure a consistent cocktail every single time. One more time, because when we're dealing with sugars and fresh juices and citrus, we want to make sure that they're balanced, consistent every single time. So if that consumer orders a second one, it tastes exactly just like the first one. All right, next we're going to be doing 2 ounces of limoncello, which again is an Italian liqueur made from the actual rinds and oils of lemons. So it's going to add a great fresh lemon taste to a classic cocktail of a lemon drop. Of course, gonna do some lemon juice, just 1/2 ounce of the lemon juice. And to balance it out, we're gonna do 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. Now we're gonna do a little bit of an Italian twist and get a little bit of herbaceous notes to it, and the herb of basil we're gonna tear to get those oils to help balance out the citrus and the sugar of the cocktail. Not too much basil, just by tearing it, it releases the oils, and drop it in. Now bartenders, this is for you. We're gonna do a sugar rim as a garnish. So you're gonna take your martini glass, flip it just like you would rim a margarita, a little bit of simple syrup or whatever you have that's a little bit sticky or sweet to make it stick to the glass, and you're just going to give it a couple pats in the sugar. So you're gonna have a sugar rim on this right there. Beautiful, adds a little bit of sweetness when the consumer's actually drinking from the lip of the martini glass. All right, we're gonna add ice to our shaker. Again, 0.75, because we want 1 ounce of water dilution inside that cocktail. It's gonna help add to the recipe of the cocktail. Shake it. Now you notice I gave it a good heavy shake, because most martini lovers love it when you see those little bitty ice crystals floating on top. It makes the drink look a little bit more fresh and of course that much more chilled. So we're gonna go ahead and strain into our martini glass. Look how light and refreshing that is. You can see the little pieces of basil floating inside the cocktail. And we're gonna just garnish with the basil leaf. Always give it a good slap. It helps release the oils. Lay it in your martini glass. And you have your limoncello lemon drop. Hey guys, I'm Sly, the corporate mixologist for Republic National Distributing Company, and we're about to shake up your next cocktail for you, an Italian margarita. Now some of you guys might recognize the name or remember it from your previous menu, but what we've done is improved it. We took the ounces, readjusted the recipe a little bit, and new and improved for you. So what makes this Italian? We're gonna be using the Amaretto di Serrano, which is gonna be a premium Italian liqueur. It's actually one of the top selling liqueurs in Italy that's gonna have great cherry and almond flavor, so it's gonna complement the tequila beautifully. Now we're gonna be using El Jimador Reposado tequila. Now if you notice, it's gonna be a little bit brown in color. So when I say reposado, reposado actually translates to mean rested. So the tequila actually is aged or rested in oak barrels for up to 1 year. Now, if you have your pens and pencils, you might want to write that down because it just may pop up on a quiz or a test in a little bit. So with this, a little bit of color, it's going to make it an ultra premium tequila because it is aged. So again, it's what gives it its color. So we're going to be taking 1.5 ounces of your El Jimador Reposado tequila. Again, a premium tequila. And 1/2 ounce of your Amaretto di Serrano. Again, a premium Italian liqueur. Great cherry and almond flavors. It's gonna have a little bit of sweetness to it. Now, we're gonna be adding agave nectar. Now, agave nectar is actually gonna come from the sugar that comes from the plant that tequila is actually made from. It's called the Blue Weber agave plant. So, because it comes from the actual sugar that comes from the plant, it's gonna enhance the flavor of the tequila. Now, to balance that out, we're gonna use 1 ounce of fresh lime juice. And that's pretty much it, a simple margarita with an Italian twist. Now we're gonna be adding some ice to the shaker. Again, bartenders, about 0.75 filled because we want 1 ounce of water dilution. Now agave nectar tends to be a little bit thick and a little bit sweet, so you definitely wanna give it a good shake in order to count on that 1 ounce of water dilution to add to the margarita. Otherwise, you just might have an overly sweet margarita. Give it your best shake. Alrighty, and we're ready to strain into our 13.5 ounce rocks glass. Very light, refreshing. Margaritas are still gonna be one of the top selling cocktails across the US on all menus. It could be everyone's love for tequila. It could be the fresh lime, balanced flavor of the lime juice with the agave nectar. We'll never know, but guaranteed to be one of your top sellers. Garnish with a lime wheel. And this is gonna be your Italian margarita. Hey guys, I'm Sly, the corporate mixologist for Republic National Distributing Company. And our next cocktail that we're gonna be shaking up is a Mojito. Now, please be aware that they do come in various different flavors. So bartenders, when I show you how to make a traditional Mojito, the only substitution you're gonna have to make is 1 ounce of each of the different flavors instead of the simple syrup. So, servers and bartenders, the various flavors that your Mojito will come in will be kiwi, strawberry, black cherry, and peach. All those flavors go beautifully with mint. So let's make a traditional Mojito for you guys. Still one of the top selling cocktails in the US. Very light, very refreshing because of the lime and the fresh mint that we're gonna be using. So many of you guys remember that you did have a Mojito on your previous menu, but we have made this completely fresh using fresh mint and fresh lime juice, so new and improved. So let's go ahead and get to the cocktail. Now we're gonna be measuring out, and did you catch those words? Measuring out, because if you've noticed, I've measured every single ingredient to ensure a consistent cocktail every single time. When we're dealing with fresh purees and sugars and fresh citrus juices, we wanna make sure that we measure them to maintain the integrity of the cocktail and ensure a well-balanced cocktail every single time. So, 2 ounces of your Don Q Silver rum, which is gonna be a very light Puerto Rican rum. Gonna be beautiful for the light flavor profile of a Mojito. Next, 1 ounce of simple syrup. Again, measure out 1 ounce. And to balance out the sweetness, we're gonna do 1 ounce of lime juice. Again, measuring out, pour it into our tin shaker. Now what makes a Mojito? Fresh mint. So we're gonna grab about 4 or 5 mint leaves. Now, when we talk about maintaining the integrity of the cocktail, make sure that they're green leaves, because we always say eyes confirm, nose confirm, palate. So if you see a Mojito and you see black leaves, what do you instantly think? 2 seconds, think about it. It's probably not fresh, right? So maintain the integrity by making sure the mint leaves are bright and green. You just want to tear it and drop it in because we just want to release the oils. So no muddling for this cocktails, tear it. You can even smell the fresh mint all around the cocktail and on your fingers. So we have our fresh mint in there, 5 ingredients to this cocktail. Rum, simple syrup, fresh lime juice, mint, and after we shake our cocktail, we're gonna top it off with soda. You might want to write those 5 ingredients down. Hint, hint. All right, let's add ice to our shaker. Again, bartenders, we want about 0.75 filled because again, we want about 1 ounce of water dilution in our cocktail to help balance out the drink. Give it a good shake. And we're gonna top it off with soda. And again, you're probably thinking it to yourself, why we're adding the soda after. Let me hear the whole, everyone say it? That's right, because it's effervescent. It's gonna have bubbles. So we definitely wanna add the bubbles after, pour it in, and now we want to roll the cocktail to ensure that the soda gets mixed in with all the rest of the ingredients that we've used. Now, pour straight into your cocktail glass. Look how light and refreshing. We're not going to strain it because we want the consumer and everyone to see the fresh mint leaves floating in the cocktail. Next, just garnish with a fresh mint sprig and a fresh lime wheel. And this is your traditional Mojito, delicious year-round for both the male and the... Hey guys, I'm Sly, the corporate mixologist for Republic National Distributing Company. And on to your next cocktail. This isn't your typical Bloody Mary, it's your Mamma Mia's Bloody Mary. Now, what is a good time to sell a Bloody Mary? I'll give you 2 seconds to think about it. That's right, anytime. So this is gonna be a new cocktail that's being added to your menu. We haven't had this style cocktail on your list before. So the best time to sell a Bloody Mary is really anytime. Most people recognize and order Bloody Marys on a Saturday afternoon, on a Sunday afternoon if they've had a late night, or if they just want something light and refreshing, because Bloody Marys are known to be drank in the morning and through the nighttime. It tends to be a little bit heavy sometimes with a dinner, evening meal, but a perfect cocktail any time of the day. So when we think Bloody Marys, and we keep bringing this up, I think I've mentioned it twice before about that Saturday, Sunday afternoon drinker. Please keep in mind, 75% of the consumer walking in the front door does not know what they want to order. Now, it doesn't mean that they're stupid. It actually means that they're persuadable, meaning that they're expecting for you to guide them through the cocktail list, kind of shrink it down, get a gauge for who your consumer is. Do they like it a little bit more sweet, a little bit more sour? And after you get to know your cocktails, you know exactly what to suggest to these consumers. Now, a Bloody Mary, Bellini, and which one? I said it in another video. Did you review your notes? That's right, it was a Sangria. Remember those cocktails that I said that would be great for the afternoon drinker because of the sparkling and the Prosecco, the Bellini and the peach flavor, very approachable flavor? Bloody Mary falls into this category. Again, I should never walk into any of your units and not find half the restaurant either drinking a Bellini, a Sangria, or a Bloody Mary because it's the definition of Saturday, Sunday afternoon, and lunchtime. All right, so let's go ahead and shake up your Mamma Mia's Bloody Mary. Okay, now what we're gonna be using is Absolute Pepper, which is gonna be a pepper flavored vodka. Gonna go beautifully with the Bloody Mary because sometimes we add pepper to the Bloody Mary already, right? So let's measure out because again, we measure every single one of our ingredients to maintain a consistent cocktail every single time, right guys, bartenders? All right, 2 ounces of Absolute Pepper. Now, what's gonna make this a little bit different and unique because again, we wanna focus handcrafted, unique cocktails that we created just for you guys. Now for this Bloody Mary, we're just gonna add about 1/4 ounce of pickle juice. It's gonna add a great citrus flavor, kind of lighten it up a little bit, especially for you pickle lovers. All right, 4 ounces of Bloody Mary mix. Again, measure it out because we don't want too much of the Bloody Mary mix. A lot of times some of the easiest cocktails are usually the ones that are made incorrectly. So again, measure out your Bloody Mary mix, 4 ounces. And we're gonna do a couple dashes of Italian parsley and some oregano to add that Italian twist and theme to it. Give a couple dashes. Now bartenders, a lot of you guys have pre-mixed it too. You're doing 2 steps into one. You might have a container behind your bar that already has those 2 mixed in. So all you do is just give it a little shake in there. And of course, the Italian touch, again, some fresh basil. About 1 to 2 pieces depending on how big your basil is. Tear it because we just want to release the oils. And we're ready to add ice and shake the cocktail. Add ice. Fill it about 0.75. The most steps that are missed by bartenders on a Bloody Mary is they assume that they don't have to shake it. They think all they do is add the vodka and pour the Bloody Mary mix. Very important that you still shake up this cocktail because that ounce of water dilution is gonna lighten it up for us. All right, give it your best shake. And we're ready to pour into our cocktail glass. Gonna be your tall rocks glass. Look at that fresh basil, very fresh. And then what's gonna make it eye candy, what's gonna make everyone in the room look is the garnish. Look at this beautiful garnish. It's gonna be a pickle, pepperoni, olive, and basil. Bartenders, make sure that everything looks fresh, everything looks beautiful because again, look how that finishes up the cocktail. That's your Mamma Mia's Bloody Mary. All right, so those are all your signature cocktails and hopefully you've enjoyed them all. Like I said before, they were created specifically and uniquely for you and your concept and your guests. Take pride in them, talk about them. Use social media, take pictures of the drinks and post them on. Tell your friends to come in and enjoy the new cocktails. You know, I always say, bartenders, you've got the bar and your main job is to make sure those drinks are measured. You maintain the integrity of the cocktail, that you're using fresh basil, fresh mint, that you're following the instructions, that you're using the ingredients that you're supposed to use, that you're not taking shortcuts, and you're handing over your customers and your fellow wait staff the correct drinks that are delicious that people would want to order 2 or 3 responsibly with. And servers, just as much as we put focus on the bartenders, I always say you guys are just as important because sometimes you have 2, 3, 4 table stations that can have up to 4 people. And when I say that, that means that you guys can have from 12 to 14 people at one time. So each of you guys must consider you have your own little mini bars. Every table that comes in, it's imperative that you suggest to sell. Take all these cocktails and find a few that you love, a few that you really want to push. If you want to choose a more lighter style, if you want to choose a sweeter drink. But a lot of the consumers will walk in and say, hey, what do you think is good? And you should have a few right up here that you're able to really brag about, talk about, and upsell. I'm aging myself, but back in my time we called it suggestive selling. Today I like to call it pushing the consumer beyond their comfort zone. Remember, 75% of that guests walking in your front door are persuadable. They're looking for you to offer them something unique, something different that they can't find anywhere else, something that has them come in and not only order delicious food, but a handcrafted cocktail made specifically for you guys. So remember, upsell, know the drinks, take pride in the drinks, and enjoy your new cocktail list.